Okay, today I think we have an exciting opportunity to talk to Eugene Mingo, a person that I can call a good friend in the business, and also someone that I confide in a lot when I'm looking for information and advice. Good to see you, Eugene.
Thank you. Appreciate me having me.
So, our stories go way back, going back all the way to 2016.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I love about this business is the fact that you get to meet people and help them become successful in some small fashion when they get into the industry, and watching your growth over that timeline has been just extremely exciting for me to see. So
Thank you.
why don't we kick off with tell us a little bit about you, and then maybe segue into what got you into the business.
Well, my background, interestingly enough, is in IT. And so I have a Bachelor's of Science degree in computer information systems. And so the first part of my tenure, I worked for the first 25 years in the IT sector. And I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed taking situations and transform them into solutions. I believe myself to be a problem solver, a trouble breaker. And so in doing so, many times I was offered the opportunities to have those situations get resolved through meeting people I work with as teams. And so one of the things I've often did was I would transition and translate and liaise between the technical people and the not so technical people. And I was the go-between. And it was pretty good opportunity to actually build those relationships in that sector. That transitioned into this side because I worked in the financial industry for those 25 years, and I was always behind the scenes in the cost center, if you will, managing the infrastructure and dealing with the details of trying to get that done. But I love people, and so what pulled me into the front-facing side is an opportunity to go into a different direction and start working with people and helping to do the same thing I've done on the technical side, which is mitigate risk, solve problems, offer solutions, and transition people into success. So I took my business soft skills and I transitioned that by now sitting down with people and doing, I love people and I love doing that, and so that's how I got into the front-facing side of the business.
Awesome. So, obviously for you, working in a lot of different segments, not just in the community, heavily involved in the community as well. Tell me a little bit about your captive experience. I remember talking to you going back to 2016 and some of the things that were important for you, but maybe if you can share your experience as a captive agent.
Sure. I love the captive experience in this way because it was a very tight framework. It required you to be very succinct and disciplined in the offerings, and it allowed me to kind of piece together the different models, whether it been life insurance or Medicare or even the financial side, writing annuities. The first time I actually focused primarily on the life side. I was able to gravitate and capture that more easily than I did the Medicare side. It was kind of it was a very difficult way to push through. And the captive audience, the captive agency side offered that because it was very contained, very controlled. But my vision went beyond that. I see myself be able to offer more than just what those offerings were in that particular organization. Nothing with the organization, great people. I met you there, many other people there. But it put a cap on what I had as a vision, on what I wanted to offer as solutions. And so I've always been a solution-oriented person. I want to be able to offer people something that maybe I may not have in my portfolio there. And so the captive agent got me where I was, but it couldn't get me where I wanted to be.
Great. No, I remember, some of the points where, you were working in the community, trying to work with other professionals and, build systems with communities.
Yes.
And I had similar experiences where, if I'm talking to an elder care attorney and I want to formulate a plan to help him with his estate planning for his clients,
Sure.
I just had a weak product offering by comparison, and that's something that made it harder or more difficult to try to engage in some of those activities. And,
exactly.
I also think, like you said, that I tell everybody this, and there's so many people that'll say, wow, you spent so much time in the captive space, and I tell people, I will take a captive agent trained 6 to 9 months over any independent agent trained 6 to 9 months. Because the difference in coming from where we came from was the fact that they didn't get taught one product. They get taught how to market to a group of people that are in the senior market.
Sure.
And that enables you to be able to provide, not that one-trick pony concept, but the ability to really help someone in all 4 areas. The huge advantage we have right now is you have 40, 50, 100 annuity products,
Sure.
70, 80 final expense or universal life plans. And,
Yes.
and I'm being modest in those numbers where you can do that. For you, now that you're on the independent side and you've been here for a couple of years now, what are some of the big differences that you see?
Well, the first thing I would say is that I'm able to take my clients and continue to be their broker, their agent. In a captive space, if they moved outside of my jurisdiction, if you will, I know they were either considered an orphan or they were not part of my portfolio. And so one of the things I love first and foremost is that my portfolio is my portfolio. I'm able to keep my clients, whether they move to Texas, Florida. As you know, I'm licensed in 9, soon to be 10 states now because of some of the offerings I do. I got a phone call just yesterday. Someone wants me to sit down with them and actually put together some strategies in Delaware because they said it in a webinar, which was virtual. So now getting my license in Delaware gives me the opportunity to give offerings. Then on top of that, we talk about the fact that we have the ability to deliver that from the position of the product offerings you talked about.
Great.
Okay. And so I'm not limited to what I can do. And again, you talk about the sectors, whether it be Medicare planning or legacy planning or retirement income or just life itself and being able to offer things. And so I love the target audience of our 60 and above, 65 and above. Succession planning is what I call it. But I'm handling offerings for people that are having brand new baby boys, brand new baby girls, just newborn babies, and putting that together. So it's just a myriad of things I can do now I couldn't do before.
That is, and I can see you smiling as you kind of say that,
Sure,
which
sure.
is great. And one of the things that we've connected on, since we've been together on the independent side is conversations we had as captives, but branding, marketing, being able to, have lead control.
Yes.
How you want to allocate your marketing dollars. And,
Yes.
I think the big one, which was kind of the aha moment for all of us coming over here, was the renewal revenue that it funds all those things. It's a huge difference, and it makes it so much easier to run a business. Why do you think you're having so much success right now? I know you mentioned the target that you have, but why don't you maybe share some of the strategies you're having, or some of the things that really have made it easy for you to be successful?
For me, I come from the mindset the lowest form of wealth is money. The greatest form of wealth is relationship. And so I love to build my brand organically. I love to speak to people, get to know people, and they become my community of people that I'm working with. And so when I build organically, my referral base is the strongest part of my revenue when it comes in. Just a great story to tell. I mean, I've, within the first quarter of this year, I've already reached my actual highest income earning year as a captive agent within the first 3 months. That is a compilation of both the renewals along with the strategies I'm offering on top of that and other different product streams. And so everything that I'm doing is setting me up to hit the targets, the goals, the visions that I've already set myself up to do. And so for me, it's just enjoyable. What makes it successful is it's not really work. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing.
You hit on so many things there. I think one of the major parts we have to deal with in life is stress. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be, family, work, health, whatnot, tons of different things that can create stress in your life. Mm-hmm. financially, and you used the word in the beginning, money is the biggest stress factor for a lot of people. And, you know, when you came on board, when I came on board and we mapped out just looking at doing a couple Medicare Advantage plans on a weekly basis, and that transfer of, you know, fear of leaving a captive space is you lose your business, so you lose your renewals. And whether you're 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or whatnot, it could be $5,000 in renewals, it could be $60,000 in renewals. You know, we had 3 agents in the first 18 months that were generating $60,000 a year in renewals. And that is an experience, like you said, that makes it more fun.
Sure.
Also, the fact that when you look at building relationships with people, and I was just on a call with a lady today, and she's moving to Washington State. I'm licensed in Washington State, so let me find the plan that's going to fit you in Washington State. I didn't lose a client.
Yes.
I gained a client in another state, and as she goes out there, I can actually get referrals from her in a location remotely from me. So that's just fantastic.
Exactly.
You know, what would you tell a captive agent if you sat down with one today?
So, you know, it's interesting you say that. I think one of the things that captive agents will probably be paralyzed by is what you used, fear. And we know fear is false evidence appearing real. You're going to have many different people who are going to tell you many different reasons to do something or not to do something. I know that I transitioned into this space, independent space, in the middle of COVID, but I knew it was the right thing to do. So in June of 2020, I think it was the perfect time for me. Did I lose a little bit of traction? Yes, I did. Why? Because I was still a top producer in that first 6 months in my captive space when I left. So I left on top. I didn't leave on the low point.
Right.
So coming into this space, there was some adjustments, but I believe the adjustments were allowing me to re-augment my vision and put myself in position to begin to pursue the possibilities. And really for me, I would say if you're at a ceiling as a captive agent, if you're thinking beyond what you can do because the captive agency doesn't allow that, it's not that there's something wrong with the agency. It's not something there's something wrong with you. It just means that the visions between the two are no longer properly married. And so you want to pair yourself with an agency or an organization that's going to allow you to grow beyond the capacity. And if a vision's too small, you'll know it, because a vision that you can complete is a vision too small. If the vision doesn't outlive you, it's too small. A vision is meant to go beyond you and outlive you. That's when it's the right vision. So if you are a captive agent and you feel a cap, hence captive agent, it might be too small. Think about it. A tree going in the greenhouse. Now it needs to put into the open field and let the root system begin to expand. And I'll use this analogy, if I may, Joe. The one thing about trees is that they communicate through the root system. That's where they know where the water is. One tree will tell the other tree where the water is. So if one tree is dry and the tree next to it is having water, the root systems will communicate. You don't see it above ground. It happens underneath the current. And the beautiful thing about being a four-core is we communicate and we work as a well-oiled organization. I don't have everything in terms of what I need within myself, but I have a team around me, and together we complete the assignments of our individual visions and the corporate vision of four-core.
You know, and I love the analogy. And when you look at when you came over to four-core and partnered with four-core, I think one of the things that is comforting for people that want to make that transition, because there is fear. You know, there is you know, renewal myths.
Sure.
You know, like you're going to lose all this that you worked, you know, for. And, you know, those fears, you know, could be crippling to people. People with vision that are in the captive space right now, you know, why partnering with four-core makes a lot of sense is we've been through it. You know,
Sure.
I was there 20 years. Mike was there almost 30 years. Vin was there 20 years. You know, You know, you add up all the folks in management, you know, that are here at Four that have experienced the captive space. That transition, like you mentioned, we've been through it. We went through the bumps. We make it easier for people. But just looking at the marketing mindset that we're building here, the branding, you know, we want people to personally brand. I thought one of the biggest weaknesses at being a captive space was trying to make a Facebook post.
Sure.
I mean, trying to put out a video of something that you were doing, trying to market without going through the bureaucracies of,
For sure.
of being able to do all that stuff. And then one of the biggest ones is you own nothing. You know, if
Yes.
you're an entrepreneur and you want to build a business and you want to grow a business, it's got to be your business. You know,
100%.
you're an employee minus the W-2 if you're a captive agent, and you control no aspects of your business at all other than your time. And that I think is big. So, you know, I appreciate you partnering with Four. You know, I'm excited that we're continuing our relationship, and I love the collaboration that you're bringing to Four. We're all independent. We don't have to work together, but we still like the camaraderie. We still enjoy the you know, getting together, having, you know, a scheduled meeting that people can attend, and growing and building together as a team. So I appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
Much success for you, as
Thank
you
you
know.
very much.
All right.